Many tech enthusiasts, including myself, make the same mistake year after year, expecting Google's hardware products to blow us away. We often find ourselves caught in a circle of excitement, confusion, and disappointment, from the Nexus days to the Pixel era. Google's intentions are always hard to decipher, and this is the first lesson in maintaining mental and emotional well-being for tech enthusiasts. Before the release of the Pixel Fold, my expectations were sky high. With the impressive Pixel 7 series leading the way, I hoped Google would deliver a foldable device that surpassed Samsung in both hardware and software, showing Samsung what true innovations look like. The result was indeed different from Samsung's offerings and any other foldable device in 2023, especially when you first open the inner screen. It feels like time is reversing. Yes, when I first got my hands on the Pixel Fold, there wasn't much to be excited about. It lacked a lightweight body, good fold crease control, and a comfortable grip. Even though Google claims it's the thinnest foldable phone, maybe they drove that on their website before Huawei and Honor releases their products. In any case, it seemed like Google doesn't really make foldable phones better. Half a month ago, that's what I thought, and I didn't even want to touch it. But as the title of this video suggests, something weird began to happen. The more I used it, the more addicted I became. Now it has replaced my iPhone as my daily driver. After all these years of being a tech enthusiast, I never thought a phone would play me like this. Hello everyone, this is Tech33, and today we are going to review the Google Pixel Fold. The design of the Pixel Fold is quite unique. It's wide and short, with the width close to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but not as tall as the iPhone 14 Pro. Google seems to have acknowledged that it drew inspiration from a passport. But didn't they know that the last company to make a passport-themed phone went bankrupt? With the weight of over 280 grams, it feels solid in the hand. I surveyed a few Asian girls, and some of them couldn't even grip it properly. Thankfully, it's not thick, so you can change your grip from holding the edges to pinching the screen. The front of the device is the flat screen, while the back is made of flat matte glass. The edges and the hinge area are quite rounded. I must say that Google's industrial design aesthetics have always been on point. With such restrained color, material, and finish choices, you can still immediately sense the sophistication. Let's delve a bit into the issue of the aspect ratio choice of foldable phones. Currently, there are two schools of thought. One is to make it as close as possible to a normal slab flagship when folded, which is the approach taken by Xiaomi, Vivo, Huawei, and Honor. This way, the aspect ratio of the inner screen is generally close to 1:1, making it more square. The second type is the approach taken by Oppo and Google, with the wider and shorter outer screen, with an aspect ratio less than 18:9. When opened, it's in landscape mode, resembling a small tablet. A variation of this approach is seen with Samsung, where the outer screen is like a remote control, and when opened, it's in portrait mode. In simple terms, turning the Pixel Fold horizontally makes it similar to the Samsung Fold 5. Both approaches have their reasons, focusing on different usage scenarios. Some excel in split-screen multitasking, while others are better for apps on large screen. Personally, I believe that the era of smartphone being the center of everything may not last much longer. It's becoming increasingly challenging to come up with new killer apps for slightly larger screens. Therefore, the trend should prioritize making the folded size feel as much like a bar phone as possible. This could become the norm in the later half of this year or next. After using the Pixel Fold for a while, frankly speaking, in terms of appearance alone, it's quite in line with the aesthetic tastes of tech-savvy individuals. Pixel Fold has a 5.5-inch outer screen and a 7.6-inch inner screen, both with a 120Hz refresh rate. The outer screen has slightly higher peak brightness. On paper, these specs seem fine, and the actual experience with the outer screen is indeed satisfactory. However, there is a room for improvement with the inner screen. I understand that many people are mocking the screen frame, but you get used to it over time, and it may even appear narrower as the price drops. The main issue lies with the screen itself. While the inner screen is also made of UTG glass, it isn't perfectly flat. It may not be noticeable when viewing the screen head-on, but it becomes apparent when viewed from an angle. This unevenness is not limited to the fold area. It extends to other parts of the screen. This is why many reviewers have mentioned that the Pixel Fold's inner screen can be distracting and prone to glare. I strongly recommend not using the Pixel Fold to watch videos on elliptical machines. Don't ask why. I'm typing this sentence with tears in my eyes. Based on my experience with dozens of foldable phones, I believe the Pixel Fold's inner screen has an AR film, which can be somewhat helpful in bright sunlight. The hinge on the Pixel Fold is a water drop-shaped hinge. To achieve a thin design and maintain water resistance, it's similar to Samsung, with the relatively deep crease in the middle. Comparing to my current top choice, Oppo, it's apparently not good enough. The hinge on the Pixel Fold is quite tight, even tighter than Samsung's. It requires a bit of force to open, providing a stable and comfortable feel. Some have mentioned that the phone doesn't lay completely flat when open, but in my 2 weeks of usage, it hasn't been a significant issue. Okay, now let's talk about the camera. From its camera module, it's evident that the Pixel Fold isn't aiming to be a spec-heavy camera powerhouse, and it may not surpass the Pixel 7 Pro. It features a primary, telephoto, and ultra-wide triple camera setup, but lacks a dedicated large sensor. However, we all know that specs don't always matter when it comes to Pixel phones. Google has a reputation of delivering excellent camera performance with seemingly less powerful hardware, producing photos that can outshine even those shot with more expensive components. Is it really the case though? Let's compare it to other foldable phones first. The Pixel Fold is indeed stronger. Its 48 megapixel primary camera does well, capturing depth and detail. What's somewhat perplexing is that Google, the pioneer of computational photography, manages to produce images that don't appear overprocessed. The Pixel Fold's tone and colors are just natural. In my opinion, it's currently the smartphone that comes closest to what you see is what you get in terms of photography. It allows you to capture the beauty you see and relive that moment when you look at your photos in the future. It's a delightful experience and a significant reason why I'm addicted to the Pixel Fold. Because there's no foldable phones with large sensors available right now, the Pixel Fold relies on its color science and tone mapping. In fact, its triple camera setup gives it a bit of advantage over other foldable phones. As for the telephoto lens, it's not as magical as some might have hoped. We're no longer in the era where the iPhone was the center of the smartphone universe, and beating iPhone meant you were the best. When you compare the Pixel Fold to the Huawei Mate X3, which boasts the 5x optical zoom, I couldn't discern any significant advantage for Google. But I know that you might not be satisfied with all of this. You might be wondering if Pixel Fold can work some magic to beat physics and dethrone the Xiaomi 30 Ultra. If that's what you are thinking, I can only say that you should close this video and not delay taking your medication. Just kidding. Seriously though, the natural bokeh and ultra high dynamic range of the IMX989 sensor aren't things that the Pixel can easily match with software alone. Plus, companies like Oppo and Xiaomi are actively fine-tuning their image processing algorithms to deliver more natural and emotional results. So at first glance, you can still see differences in strengths between different camera systems. The strength of Pixel Fold's camera lies in the context of foldable smartphones. But isn't that enough? Weren't we all getting a bit tired of regular slab phones and looking for something different when we venture into foldable phones? Give me a combination of hardware, computational photography prowess, and stunning color science, and I can capture beautiful photos with a foldable phone. How could you not like that? I have the Pixel Fold with Android 14 beta, so I won't go into battery life details. With its 4800 mAh battery, it hasn't disappointed in my experience. The Tensor G2 chip's peak performance has been extensively tested, but hardware needs to work seamlessly with software for great user experience. So I'll share my hands-on impressions, which might surprise you. Number 1. Silky Smooth. The smoothness of interactions, including scrollings, tapping, and UI animations, with all the little details and responsiveness, is something I've never encountered before. The Pixel Fold manages to leave a lasting impression. Number 2, high-quality personalization features. The art of good personalization is providing high-quality options before allowing full customization. Google excels in this aspect, possibly even surpassing Apple. Material design can be complex, but there's the simplest way to put it. No matter how you set it up, it looks great. Number 3, ecosystem-driven large screen optimization. While the first 2 points are addictive, this third point shows Google's advantage aren't as clear-cut. Google sets app development standards, which means its large screen can perfectly adapt to apps developed within these standards. However, this also means Google doesn't have many privileges compared to other smartphone manufacturers. What works on Pixel Fold also works on Pixel Pad or Xiaomi Mix Fold. Google's influence is limited here. One thing worth mentioning is the bottom screen bar can bring up a dock for quick switching between recent tasks or split-screen multitasking. I must also mention that social media and similar apps have no landscape optimization on Pixel Fold. Quite surprising, isn't it? Well, this should have been the end of my experience with the Pixel Fold. However, the feeling of being drawn into a phone with so many flaws and oddities, yet becoming more addicted with each use, is something I haven't experienced in a long time. What other products have given me this feeling in the past? The fragile iPhone 4, the initial cumbersome Samsung Fold, the Huawei Mate X, which needed a tissue under it even when placed on the table. Carrying the Pixel Fold with me, while others may see it as a weird phone that looks like a passport, my mind is filled with thoughts of its unique folding design, the best photography experience in the world of foldables, the smoothest system operation, the latest Android smart features, wireless charging, water resistance, and the vanity of being among the first to experience and love it. How did I get so immersed in it? Isn't it just the instinct response of a tech enthusiast? That's all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Tech33, and I'll see you next time.